sense of experience and experience in terms of experience, phenomenology, and interested in that. And there's consciousness in terms of mechanism. But which kinds of consciousness? I tend to view it like an onion or a tree, where you can have different levels of elaboration and you can use the same word or different words. But so for instance, at the base of it, just experience itself, what it feels like to be right now, your stream of experience. Some people would call this creature consciousness. But then you might talk about your conscious access, your ability to be aware of your experience in all sorts of different ways, and have metacognition, and to have reflexive knowledge and recursivity. And that's another kind of consciousness that you could have. You could have along those lines things like self-consciousness of different varieties and autobiographical self-consciousness. And so there's all sorts of elaborations. And we tend to use the word consciousness either to talk about experience itself or as a kind of special knowledge. Then there's a question of consciousness as a kind of knowledge of what? So for instance, like in artificial intelligence, a lot of people are interested in consciousness functions, but they're not interested in consciousness in terms of phenomenality or experience. And many cognitive science would say that that might be an illusion, that that's not something we can even talk about scientifically and may just be a kind of confusion that we have. And that all there is this sense of your ability to report and be aware, but your experience itself is something that's real, might not be. But for me, I think it's the most important thing. Our consciousness is almost everything we care about, or the most important things we care about, pass through it. Our joys, our grief, our purposes, many of them can proceed outside of consciousness, but our joy of it, our ability to find meaning in it and to control it and to influence it over time, to shape it, that depends on our consciousness. So what I've been trying to do is take all the different ways that people talk about consciousness in terms of the major theories, and then see if you make them talk to each other, can you get a whole that's greater than some of its parts? So do you know the parable of the blind man and the elephant? A bunch of blind sages come up to an elephant. One grabs the trunk and says it's like a snake. Someone grabs the leg and says it's like a tree. Someone like puts his hands on the ear and says it's like a leaf. And they're all right. And then once they start talking to each other, they figure out more of this underlying thing. And so what I've been doing over the past few years is studying the major theories of consciousness and then cross-referencing their claims and seeing where you have points of overlap and difference, and then try to use each of the theories to adjudicate the competing claims of the others, see where you get the most alignment, and then is there a consistent explanatory account that's elegant that can go through these different theories and claims? And I believe there is. And so at the end of it, and still under development, there is something I call integrated world modeling theory, which tends to focus on the two major theories of consciousness, integrated information theory and the global neural workspace theory, and brings them together in something called the free energy principle. Think of the mind as a kind of predictive system. What I've been doing in recent years is constructing synthetic models of consciousness that takes basically the amazing work that's been done already and then saying, let's bring it together and so we can get synergy.